Hello, hello, hello. It is Tammy coming to you live this morning from my office here in Hometown Hippie and Party with Tammy headquarters, my office in Farmville, Virginia. So, as you jump on here today and you're watching this live, please say hello and tell me where it is that you're watching from. It is always nice to know where everybody is tuning in from. And if you are brand new to my YouTube channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends to tune in, share it out. And if you're here on Facebook, hello, hello, hello. Thank you for tuning in as always. Um, Now, I know that I am on YouTube and I do have a little traction over there. So I want to say my name is Tammy Nelson. I am a female entrepreneur out of Farmville, Virginia. And every Sunday morning, I come live with a little thing called Sunday Sermon, which is my version of I guess my version of church, right? It's my version of church. I'm not here to preach, I'm just here to talk, say hello, see what everybody's up to. So again, it is nice. I want to make sure I can see comments because none are coming in yet. So just at least say hello and tell me where it is you're watching from, city and state. Maybe you're just like, I'm laying in bed watching you. Maybe I am riding in my car, whatever it is, just say hello and let me know where you're watching from. Today, we are about a week away from a couple of, we're a week away from like the big football game. We're a week away from, good morning, Heather. Your box is en route. You were the first Munchie of the Month box to get put out this month. So congratulations on that. Because your add-ons were easy. I had them ready to go. So that was done and done. But we are a week away from Super Bowl Sunday, and we're also about a week and a day away from Valentine's Day, right? Valentine's Day. And I said I was a female entrepreneur, and I'm live in a couple of places. So number one, I'm live in the Hometown Hippie Elevated Edibles, which is my love child, my invention, my creation, my plants over pills. This is my heart mission. And then we are also live in my hashtag Party with Tammy, which is my pure romance direct sales business that I've been doing for 5 years. It's been 5 years. I want to talk about that a little bit today, about, how crazy it is that I've been doing that 4 or 5 years. Sorry, I got some skin and stuff. Just got out of the shower and my face feels a little dry today. I forgot to put moisturizer on. I did everything. I did the toner, did my cleaner. I forgot to put moisturizer on. So after this live, I'll make sure I do that. And then I'm also live in my Tammy Nelson YouTube channel because I am trying to build my YouTube channel up. So if you are following me on a Facebook platform, please go over to my YouTube, give it a like, subscribe, tell your friends about it. I'm hopefully going to have some cooking videos, some educational videos, some stuff that will not be housed in Facebook. And let's talk about what I was talking about, right? Talk about all the things we're talking about. So we are a week away from, we're in the middle of Love Month. Everybody calls it that. And, it's interesting because one of the things that this month's Munchie of the Month box is about self-love, right? It's about loving yourself. And I talk about that quite often, right? I talk about that quite often in all the places about loving yourself. And self-love is not selfish, and self-care is not selfish, and all of the things. Now, I think that it's important, right? I think it's very important to focus on yourself, to be the favorite version, the best version, the most productive version, whatever you want to call it, right? I think it's important for us to start any type of journey with really turning inward, right? You have to kind of fortify your foundation. And that's what I'm saying is everything that you build, everything that you add into your life, all of the joy, whether it be work or a relationship or play or hobby or whatever it may be, it's hard to add things in when you're not able to even handle you, right? If you can't even stay in being in your own head, how are you going to add anything else into that equation, right? And so a lot of us just go through life just dealing with all the things that we can't control, right? We're dealing with all the relationships and all of the situations that there are other people and other thoughts and other opinions and other people. Because I think that a lot of times we enjoy, right? We enjoy saying it's easy. If you're dealing with somebody else and it doesn't work out, right? You can say, well, so and so just didn't do their part. And I grew up and I was very much someone who really enjoyed athletics. I just did. I loved team sports. I loved athletics. I've always been a collaborator, right? And when they say opposites attract, my husband and I are very much alike in some ways, but we're very different in other ways. He was someone who he did soccer and stuff, which is team sports, but he was also into karate. And that was very much not a team sport, right? He always says, I don't play well with others. And I'm always like, I love to play with others. So it's very much an opposite kind of thing. But for him to be really good at his sport, right? It was all about him. He likes the ability to, like, he's not someone who wants to depend on somebody else or whatever. He's always like, I'm going to be able to do it for me. So he's someone who I kind of admire for the ability to kind of turn inward, right? He's way more introverted, which y'all would probably be surprised if you've ever met Red, like because he's very, he's very personable. But as far as like other people, he's an introvert. He's definitely someone who would prefer solace and being at home and things being quiet than just having tons of people around and all of the things. And I'm quite the opposite. So I think that I kind of pull him out of his shell, and he kind of grounds me a lot to kind of.
I like fishing and 3 people.
He likes fishing and 3 people. And it's kind of the truth, right? And I like all the people and like 3 fish. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Hello, Heather. Hello, Tanya. So we kind of yin and yang each other, right? But what I'm saying is that it's very important when you're trying to build relationships or build business. I've got everything except for the steak. Yep, I've got asparagus and I've got an extra sweet potato and a russet potato if you want it. Love you too, bye. So he's gonna run. I can have steak. It's week 3 of my Pure 21, and we just got steak added in this week. And I'm like, I need steak. He's like, I'm getting steak. So we went to get that. But it's very important, I think, to look inward for people like me, right? Sometimes these conversations are for y'all. Sometimes they're for me. And for me, it's very much important to realize, right? And I think this. And y'all know how I do, right? I'm going to go around something and I'm going to tie a whole big ribbon on it. So just bear with me. I was not as prepared today as I normally am, only because as I was talking about my Pure 21 diet, I know I'm off on a tangent. We're going to come back. This week is the detox week. It's like the colon cleanse week. And I know this is a lot of information for Sunday morning. And this morning, man, it hit me. And I've been up since like 5 o'clock dealing with all of that. And normally I have a little time. I usually meditate on Sunday mornings, lay, and I just kind of do a right. And I get my bearings and I channel this message today. And today I'm feeling a little scattered. And I'm feeling a little, I knew what my topic was going to be. And I was like, calling in on my angels, guides, and helpers, and all that are there to assist me, calling you in and asking you to make me a clear and perfect channel. And the message that I kept getting when I was saying that was look inward, right? Look inward, turn inward, self-love. And what I'm going to tell you is this. Sometimes those of us who love collaboration because we don't want to have to stand in our power, right? Just like some people like to collaborate to blame and to play victim, right? Like they're a partner with somebody. So if their business doesn't work or this doesn't work or that doesn't work, they can yell blame. I never go into anything ever with the anticipation of it not succeeding, because I know, right? I know in my heart that you are going to, you're going to attract what you're going. If you're thinking it's going to fail, it's going to, right? So I always go into any kind of collaboration or any kind of project with probably a more unrealistic success approach than other people. Like I never go in afraid of it failing. I don't. I'm like, it's going to be awesome. I know it is, right? But I collaborate so that I can say, look how great they did. Like, I don't like to stand in my power. I can say, well, together we did well. And I'm starting to realize that, right? And I think that the Hometown Hippie was the one time, and I do have partners with that, and I do work with people with that. And I'm just starting to realize that it's okay. And this is a self-love introspection for me. It's about understanding that it's okay to be successful, and it's okay to claim your own power in that success. It's okay to say, hey, I did this. Because for me, I feel like it's braggadocious. I feel like it is conceited. I feel like it is all these things. And I like to be able to brag because I'm so proud of the things that I do. But I like to have, and this is something that I'm realizing, I'm really realizing this. It's like a revelation for me, is that other people like to blame. I like to be able to brag on my business part, like brag on him, like my partners and I. Like I don't want to take. I don't like. I'm awesome, right? I don't want to say that, like toot my own horn. So I want somebody else I can toot their horn, and then like by like not guilt by association, but like what's it? Help me, y'all. I'm stumped, and I'm not usually stumped for words. It's kind of like a pat on the back by association, right? It's kind of like a pat on the back by association. Um, so collaboration and self-love, and to be able to collaborate. This is what I'm kind of working through my journaling and stuff, is to be able to be a good collaborator, right? You have to be you have to be a strong pillar. You have to be someone who people want to collaborate with. And if you don't want to collaborate with yourself, why would others want to collaborate with you? So you have to want to learn to play with. This is funny for Party with Tammy. You got to learn to play alone, play by yourself before you could play with others, right? And so that's like with any relationship. If you're going to bring something to the relationship, if you're going to bring something to the partnership, if you're going to bring something to the table, then you need to look inward and make sure that what you're bringing is solid, right? Is solid. It is ready to go. And I am going to tag some folks because we normally have about 15 people on this morning. I know it's Sunday morning. We definitely want to get some folks watching, because I got some stuff I want to talk to y'all about today. I got some cards to read today. We always do our let's see here. Let me see if I can tag a few folks. Let's see. I always try to hit the M's. There's lots of M's in this group. Because here's what I'm going to tell you. When you don't enjoy your own company, how do you think other people really enjoy your, if you don't enjoy your company, do you think other people do? Right? If you don't come to the relationship with your own individual things, right? My husband and I have been together for 20 years. We have dated and lived together before we got married. We've been married, it'll be 17 years coming up this year. So we've probably been together, it'll be going on 21 years. Awesome. Thanks, y'all. So I'm so glad y'all are here, getting ready, but listening. So if the only thing, right, that if we didn't have our own like individual things, right? If he didn't have fishing and I didn't have Pure Romance, or I didn't have Hometown Hippie, and we only had the things that we had together, right? We only had us. What would we talk about if every experience that we had, right? Because a lot of people, once they get into relationships, I feel like, right, they kind of lose themselves. And what if, right? What if the only thing you ever did was you kind of absorbed yourself into your partner? Whether it be your business partner, your relationship partner, whatever. But if the only thing you ever did was with that person, you had nothing of your own, what would you talk about? Like I talked to Red, I was like, if we didn't have our own individual things, right? We both are very secure in our relationship to where he has his fun, like stuff like fishing and camping with the guys and, fishing. He really loves fishing, y'all. And, he likes to like watch fights and like boxing and UFC and things like that. And that's just too much for me now. I used to like it. But if everything that we did was done together, how boring would life be? So a lot of people, I'm talking to some of the, I'm talking to somebody, I don't know who this is meant for. I don't have a clue who this is meant for, but if you are in a relationship, right? And your partner and yourself can't do anything outside of each other, if they are overbearing or you are overbearing, right? Number one, I'm going to say this, and this is, I don't know who this is for. I don't know who this is for. Okay. If you have to have your eye on your partner 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because you don't trust them, then you don't need to be with them. Number one. Number two, if you and your partner do every single solitary thing together, you have to have your own individual things. You have to find something that you enjoy doing for you. They have to find something that they enjoy doing for them. That is going to be imperative to grow together. You have to have something that is yours. They have to have something that is theirs, and you come together and talk about it. I'm also getting that somebody is being told, like, you can't go out with that person, or you can't go with this person because that you're not trusted. Same thing about not, if you don't trust them to go do things without you, right? You can't expect you can't expect to stay in that situation. Someone should never tell you what you can and can't do. Also, it's also the same for the other side of the spectrum. My ex and I were so far apart and connecting, yet lived together for 13 years. And here's the thing, that's what I come back together. So when I say we have our own individual things, I'm talking like maybe a Saturday morning. I might get up and go do like a beauty day with my girlfriends. We might go, have our nails done and go shopping and just go fart around and have some food somewhere. Where he may get up and go with his guy, his guy friend and go fishing all day. But when we come back together for dinner, we have something to talk about. I get to hear his excitement for his exciting adventure. He comes back to me with, I come back to him with my exciting adventure. And we have experiences in life that shape us and grow us, that are individual from that person, but they help to strengthen the relationship, and it helps to be able to strengthen us individually. Because here's the thing, my husband said something to me that was so important the other week, right? He said, we were having some growing pains, and he was like, I'm struggling with some stuff right now, and I need to figure out me. I need to deal with me I want to be a better person so that I can be a better partner, right? And that's what I'm talking about. This is interesting. So Heather says, taking care of my family here is the first time I've been away from my family. I'm the matriarch. We are all learning to live without each other. It's hard, but in the same aspect, we are learning to live apart instead of as a group, right? Here's what I'm going to tell you, Heather, what I feel from this and what's really coming in deep for me for this. You're learning how to grow as individuals so that when the group comes back together, you're a stronger group. Sometimes you have to grow where you're planted. Sometimes you have wanderlust, and that's perfectly fine. And I know that you're in Florida taking care of family and all the things. I think that most families nowadays, like most households, are very ran by the matriarch, right? We women, especially, I'm not belittling my men that are in the Hotel Hippie group. Party with Tammy is all women, but a lot of times we as women are the keeper of all the things. We are the keeper of doctor's appointments and grocery shopping and meal planning and pet schedules and household maintenance schedules and You name it. We are like the ultimate schedulers of all the things. So I'm going to speak from personal experience. Okay. I'm going to speak from personal experience. I'm going to also take this down because this banner is driving me absolutely bonkers because no one's saying hello and saying hi, right? For me, I had to learn, right? Whenever because I run the house, and as the kids as Evan, because we raised Evan, my son is 30 years old. I started feeling like I did my job as a parent to like raise him to be able to fend for himself, like cook dinner and wash his clothes and clean the house and understand that there's responsibilities that have to be done. Like, Saturday mornings in my house, as a matriarch house, my Saturday mornings, when I had my power job at the insurance company, I would work Monday. Can I get some thumbs up hearts if this sounds familiar? You work your job Monday through Friday. You go, 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 go. The entire week is a blur. You put out fires as much as you can during the week for any kind of household things, right? But Saturdays are spent and Sundays are spent regrouping, right? You got to get the house chores done. You have to get the laundry done. You have to kind of figure out what's happening with everybody. And then it's start over and do it again, right? And I always felt like I never had a day off. And I would go like that and go like that and go like that till finally I would just blow up. I would blow up. And I would be so frustrated because I'm like, nobody appreciates anything. And I would feel so overwhelmed. And then I would have this big, like, nobody knows what I do. And then everybody wanted to scramble to help take care. So we had one of those situations. And finally, my husband's like, well, why did we do that? Right? Why does this happen this way? How we got to figure it out. So number one, I really did. I turned inward and I looked, number one, I was thriving on playing the victim of that role, right? I liked being able to, like, number one, I took a little bit of pride in the fact that I just kept going. Even though I was exhausted, there's a little bit of pride in it, right? A little bit of pride that my house is always clean, my family eats well, the clothes are clean, and I work all these hours. And like, I didn't realize it. Like in the moment, I didn't see it, but looking back on it now, right? Exactly. It was I had control of it. I set the pace. I made the schedule. And whenever anybody would offer any solutions, right? Whenever anyone would offer any solutions to that, I would shoot them down and make a million and one excuses as to why that wouldn't work. I would never hear them out because all of those things took me out of control of those situations. And every single thing was a choice. And that's what I talk about. And this is interesting how this is not meant what I thought was going to happen today, but we go with it. I didn't want to relinquish that control of all of that. So we had this big blowout one day, and my husband's like, I'm done. I'm done hearing about it. Like, you can either accept the help, we can figure out a different way to do it, or shut the hell up about it. I'm tired of hearing it. Like, you want to bitch about it. Like, and this is another profound thing he says, like, if you're not going to change it, it's kind of like voting, he said, right? If you're not going to vote, you can't bitch about how things are going. He said, and if you want to bitch about life, he's like, I'm not going to listen to bitching it so much when there's a way to change it. If you're not willing to change it, I don't want to hear the crap crying about it. I said, okay, let's try it different. So I stopped and I thought about it, and I was like, I'm not doing my family any favors when I tell my 16-year-old son, right, to bring me your hamper and give me a list of the food you want this week for your junk food, right? So I stopped and I was like, what can I do that's smarter? So I was like, okay, let's do the basket of chores on Saturday mornings. Like, it's still my idea. So what I did was I made the basket of chores, and there was an even number for each of us to pick 3 things or 2 things or whatever out of the basket. And each Saturday morning, versus me having to do all of it, right? There were all the chores that made the house run, because my husband's like, we're 3 people that live in this home. I work during the week, you work during the week. But why is it your responsibility to do all the things? You're choosing to make that your responsibility because of matriarchal rules. Like my nanny taught me that it's my job, right? It's like, well, I was taught my whole life it's my job. And it's not, right? It's the home, it's the family. And Heather's saying that she's away from her family and they're learning to do those things. Things like this, if you maybe someone watching this needs to understand how to get their family involved in those things. One of the things I did was I made a wheel of chores and we each picked the things out, and those are the things that you are responsible for on the weekends before you could go do your fun stuff. Because I wanted to teach Evan, and we had Megan, which is my stepdaughter, for a little while. I wanted to teach them that there's nothing wrong with having fun, but there are responsibilities. And the fun is way more fun when the responsibility, like, once your chores are done for the weekend, you pretty much had a lot of free reign. So their rules were their bedrooms had to be kept clean. Their bathroom had to be clean. That was their job, right? That's all they ever had to do at the beginning was like, you each had to keep your bedrooms clean, keep your bathroom clean. They did dishes after dinner each night, and they had to keep honor roll. That was the rule, and they pretty much had free reign, and they weren't in trouble. But Mom was like, why is that all they have to do? You're home enough time to shower and get dressed to drive an hour and a half to work each day. Then you come home and you eat dinner and go straight to bed. Why are you cleaning the entire house every weekend? Everybody else stopped running around. I was choosing to live in that role, right? I was choosing because I didn't want them to, like Heather says, like people are learning to like live apart, right? Left relationship, including my own family, and moved was because I was burnt out. Fast forward ahead, I repeated the same pattern with new people up here. It was a huge wake-up call. It was me that was a problem. Interesting, yeah, because if you can't, location's not going to change behavior. That behavior has to be done from within. You have to stop, right? And so we had the wheel of chores, and I was like, this is the way to teach you guys responsibility. You can go to sleepover once your chores are done. Sure, you can go to the concert at the VFW hall once your chores are done. So you can choose to be out the door by noon on Saturday and have the entire weekend. Or you can procrastinate your chores and not get them done and not have anything to do. Because until they're done, you're not leaving the house. You're not using your telephone. You're not cutting on the television. Those are your chores. Those are the things you have to do. Now, let me tell you, when I tell you these kids would be biting at the bit to draw out of this basket every week to be able, and they learned, and they would get up, and the first week was a little bit of all day long kind of like, I have to wait on him, because they learned, right? They also learned how to negotiate relationships. Because here's the thing, if you had mopping, but your brother had sweeping, you couldn't mop till they swept. So you also had to learn how to depend on the other people in your family for the chores. And each week it was a different chore, a different relationship you had to navigate. And we did it for a couple of months, and it really, really, really worked well. I'm going to be transparent. Megan went back to live with her mom, and Evan became a senior, and we hired a housekeeper. just being honest. But that was something that we did, and that was the reason we did it. But it was a lot of the fact that I had to relinquish control. I had to look inward and say, I'm doing this because I want the clout of it. It wasn't about, it was more of a self-fulfilling prophecy that my mom was not a good, my grandmother was the one, right? My grandmother was like, a woman's job, if you're going to keep a man, and that's how she was brought up. That was her generation. And so it took a lot of courage, I felt like, and I'm going to be honest, it took a lot of courage of me to even say the words, like, I'm exhausted. And I think I said something like, the way that it came up was, I said something like, I just need to go away for a while. I am so tired of this. I was like, they don't appreciate it. And I was like, whoa. Like, what in the world? Like, you don't speak up. You complaining about it. Let's figure out a way to fix it, right? And it takes that yin and yang sometime, right? It takes that yin and yang sometime. And I am a work in progress, right? I am a work in progress. I have not got this figured out. I still have relationships that I overachieve for, but I am learning. I am learning, and I want all of y'all that are watching this, right? I want all of y'all that are watching this, number one, to look inward. That's what the whole message is about today, is looking inward and realizing where you are contributing to your own where you're contributing to maybe some of the things in your life that are not going so well, right? I have realized that if I am not happy in life, right? And I started this off with like lots of big things coming up, like Valentine's Day and Super Bowl Sunday and all the things, right? Because it's about like looking inward in relationships. And yes, you have to be compassionate for yourself. But here's the thing, right? My husband said that the other day. He's like, I have to take care of me before I can take care of you. And I'm like, you're right. You are 100% right. You have to take care of you before you take care of others. And that's where it comes back to looking inward, right? Looking inward and realizing that self-love is not selfish. It is actually it is the best form of love expression for others that you can actually do, right? Because I'm going to tell you what, a lot of y'all have only known me as my online presence over the last 18 months, 2 years that I've been attitude of gratitude, all of this. If I started sharing memories from 4 years ago, from 3 years ago, probably from 3 years ago back, right? 3 years ago back to when Facebook started, I was jaded. I was one of those people who wanted to argue on the internet all the time. I was somebody who took offense to everything. I was somebody who was very bitter. I was someone who was not someone who I particularly liked. I had worked in a high stress job. I felt, I was self-loathing. I had some childhood trauma. I had some self-inflicted shit talk to myself. I was unhappy with my body image. I was trying to kill myself slowly by eating myself to death and using bitter words to be a bitter person, right? I never felt like I was enough. I always felt lacking. And when my epiphany happened, it was life-changing, but more importantly, life-saving. When I realized I was somebody worth loving, and when I decided to go inward and to really focus on being impeccable with my word, not taking things personally, right? Not assuming anything, all of those things, right? Yep. So what Heather is saying is that these things with my family are now a blessing to me that I didn't see, because now I have time for my spiritual journey. I think if I was still home doing all the things, this would have went the wayside like all the other times I've tried to find my spiritual power. And I'm going to tell you what, Heather, carving out time for yourself there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing at all wrong with that. We do get sidetracked with other people. Again, Evan is 30 years old. I have a 10-year-old grandson, Megan, who I don't really see very often. She is 28 and she lives in Chesapeake. She's got 2 girls. My problem came from, number one, those kids, I love them to death. They're my husband's children via first marriage. I was not able to have children. So when I talk about Party with Tammy VIP Love Lounge, so if you're watching over there, that is my pure romance business. My journey through infertility and cervical cancer and menopause and hysterectomy, that was my journey to pure romance. Pure romance was step 1. And I know that the universe works things out in this crazy imaginative way. But through my journey of looking inward, number 1, I was like, I need to improve my body. I need to improve my intimate life, my whatever life. Pure romance found its way into my life. And then all the women over there who were struggling with a lot of the same things I were looking to me. So I feel like they're all my kids over there. They're all my children over there. And over the last 5 years, because it has been 5 years talking about that, we talked about self-love, women's empowerment, all the things. Over that time, number one, I met some amazing women who I partner with and collaborated with, are my best friends, are going to be business partners for the rest of my life, right? I met people who I would have never met before from all over the country who have just impeccably changed my life. It gave me the business acumen. It gave me the confidence. It gave me the courage to start my own businesses, which are Hometown Hippie and Creative Healing Collaborative, right? But more importantly, right, it made me a better stepmom or mom, a better grandmother, a better sister, a better wife, a better friend, a better business partner, and a better me, right? And so looking inward, learning to love yourself. And this journey through all of this has been because I wanted to help other women. I wanted to help other people. And I've always had this craving for service. And, one of my big sayings is you cannot pour from an empty cup, right? And so every time that I wanted to help someone else, I'm like, I have nothing left to pour out. So taking time, like Heather's saying here, right? And Tanya's saying about that, taking time for yourself, stepping away from those things, being compassionate for yourself. That is not being selfish to your role as a mom. And it's not being selfish as your role as a daughter or a sister or a wife or a husband or a partner or whatever your relationships are. Right? I told you it's coming around in a big old circle. All of these things, right? All of these things we deal with, right? We cannot if we love ourselves, we can love others so much bigger, right? We can love others so much bigger because here's the thing. If I would have continued to always do the laundry and let my kids run out into the world and live their lives and just have fun, what did I teach them? No responsibility, that give it to somebody else, they'll do it. Nobody, that mom doesn't care, right? I taught my son that his wife should just do it and shut up. I taught my daughter that it's her job to do it all by herself and to feel exactly like I'm feeling. So when people say, oh, you're being selfish, you're not doing these things for your kids, or you're not doing that for your husband. No, I'm not. I'm breaking a curse. I'm breaking a tradition to show people that it's not one person's job to take care of the entire fucking world. Pardon my language. Sunday morning gets a little riled up sometimes. I am being the best version of me so that I can teach them to be the best versions of themselves. Right? So when people give you grief for the choices that you make when you're taking care of yourself, let that shit go over your head. Let that fly away from you. If you need a minute to walk away, if you need to recharge your batteries, so be it. But here's the thing. It's not one-sided, right? It's not just for us. My partner sometimes needs to go recharge his batteries. And that's where the thing comes back into, right? If you're with somebody who can't be out of your sight, who can't go recharge their batteries, you don't trust them. Or you can't go recharge your batteries, they don't trust you. Don't be with them. Okay? Do not get out of that relationship. And I don't like to give relationship advice. Like, I'm not going to talk to you about your specific relationship because I don't know it. But I'm going to tell you that advice. If you cannot be without that person because of fear of and worry about what they're doing, because it's not, stop it. I listened to a thing this morning. It was about how do relationships work. And it says they work because they need to be parallel lines. Two lines that run parallel to one another will run on for infinity. And when you start looking at, when they start doing this, they go away from each other. When you start focusing on the other person and what they're doing and worried about them, you cross paths, and what do lines do when they cross? They go far away from one another. When you stay on that parallel line and you focus on a goal, our goal is, right, as a relationship, our goal is this. Our eye is on the prize. We know that our other line has got it because we trust that other line. We enjoy that other line. The other line is our best friend, right? That other line goes right with us. We're going in the same direction. But when I look and worry about what he's doing, I'm going over here and going way far away. And when he looks and worries about what he's going way far away. You have to see it like that. You have to. And here's the thing, the people, because I was one of those people, I will admit my faults, right? The people who tell you how shitty you are and how selfish you are and how it's not right for you to do things for yourself, they are bitter, and it's a projection of how they feel about themselves because they're not doing it. They are jealous of the work that you are doing. Do not let those people get into your head. As I would say, not today, Satan, right? Not today, Satan. Not today, Satan. Okay? So let's pull today's card of message. And I want y'all to know that, like, I really like to be prepared for these messages, and sometimes they just come through. And sometimes they just come through, they come through like they're supposed to come through. And thank you so much, Tanya, for that. I hope people listen to the replay, because here's what I'm going to tell you. I used to get very upset, and I would get off my lives if there weren't like 10 people watching, and I would say, nobody likes me. And I'm like, stop it, Tammy. People love you. But your message, and this is what my guides and angel told me. They said, I said, why am I doing this if there's nobody listening? And they said, your message is the message. Don't worry about who's listening. The person that is supposed to hear the message will hear it always. It is divinely guided. It is fine. And sometimes if nobody hears it, it was meant for you to listen to, for you to say out loud for yourself. Because I'll watch the replay. So I appreciate you saying that. I hope the people that need to hear this message hear it. And I hope the people that benefit. You got to get over that. Even reaching one is huge. I have old videos. Yes, exactly. And it's going to be on YouTube forever. And the right people are going to hear it. They're going to reach out, right? They're going to do what they need to do. And I'm going to keep on going. So instead of holding space because of, I'm holding space despite of, right? So I keep on going, right? So every week, like I said, if you are new here and you are watching on YouTube or you are watching the replay and you got this far, we do a weekly affirmation card. I love to tell people that it's very important to journal, free write, just kind of automatic writing. A lot of people tell me that's very hard for them. So I love to do these on Sundays. It gives us a crystal affirmation as a group card. We do like whoever's watching, whoever's meant to watch this will get this message like they're supposed to. It's daily crystal inspiration cards. I love these cards. These are my most powerful cards that I've dealt with so far. I need to get me a couple of more sets of like whoever makes these because they really do like speak to me. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some deep breaths in. That just calms my energy. And it makes you stop and focus. So this is going to be our crystal affirmation for the week, the things that people as a group need to focus on for this week, a message for this group. It also gives you some automatic writing prompts, some daily affirmations to say to yourself, and a little message. So we're going to take 3 deep breaths in. And if you're not sure to take the deep breaths in, what I say is smell the birthday cake, blow out the candles. Ooh, cards jump out every week, and I'm not sure it's because of my hands or because they're supposed to jump out. Okay, so the 2 cards that jumped out were rose quartz, and clear quartz. We're gonna leave those out. We're gonna shuffle. I feel like that was a jump, not really a card jump. Those are kind of gonna, because both of these for me kind of always, when I'm doing any kind of like card work, I will actually have these crystals out to kind of amplify my abilities. And it says clear quartz is get crystal clear, and rose quartz is open up your heart. So you need to get clear and open up your heart. So I think that's a lot of that turning inward. Yeah, it's telling, that's the card. Those are the cards. It's like we're jumping to let you know these are the cards. So we're going to go ahead and do clear quartz first. Because, of the whole like alphabetical order thing is what we're doing. Clear quartz. And clear quartz is, I have lots of clear quartz around my house. And I actually have it in the center of my crystal grid that is amplifying the crystal grid. So we're going to read that one first. We're going to amplify what we're doing today. So that is our clear quartz, get crystal clear, right? Make space in your head and clear thoughts. Hang on. Make space in your head for clearer thoughts that might lead to greater insights into your life. Everyday worries and stress can blind you to the big picture. Okay, this is the card. This is the card. Confused. Let's see. When you're feeling confused, make sure you don't lose sight of the forest through the trees, right? Don't cut your nose to spite your face. The clarity that comes from mindfulness allows you to view your life from a higher perspective. Keep focused on your goals and intentions as you continue to work towards becoming your best self. Sometimes this deck amazes me. Like spiritual 2020 vision, you can see clearly where you're going and how to get there. When you keep focused on your goals and your intention of becoming your best self. Now tell me that is not our message today. I want to read that again. The clarity that comes from mindfulness allows you to view your life from a higher perspective. Keep focused on your goals and intentions as you continue to work towards becoming your best self. Lord have mercy. Like spiritual 2020 vision, you can see clearly where you're going and how to get there, right? Core questions. So this is your automatic writing prompts for the week. Have you been feeling lost or confused? Have you been feeling lost or confused? Answer that question in your journal, and then I want you to do this. Do you know what you want? What does being clear look like or feel like to you? And that's so important, right? And that's a lot of the problem with us women, right? And I'm not going to say not for men too, but I've never been a man, so I cannot speak to how a man's mind works. I can speak to how a woman's mind works, or specifically my mind works, right? Sometimes I don't make any changes in my life because I don't know what exactly it is that I want to do. It's like if you can't get clear about it, and I'm going to tell y'all, like when I tell you messages come and messages mean something important, this is my journal. And it says right here, hang on, I got a whole thing that I've outlined here. And it's talking about the D's, right? Defining. And that's getting clear and determining what it is, right? The DDD program is what I'm writing up right here, right? You have to define what it is that you want before you can start getting it. So get crystal clear about it, right? Get crystal clear. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. I'm going home next week for a visit. I was so worried about all the things not being done, but thanks to you, I now know that it's not important. It's the visit, the rest will work its way out. Exactly. So the next question is, do you know what you want? You have to be able to define it. The third question is, what does being clear look or feel like to you? And I'm going to tell you what, there's so much joy whenever you get clear, right? When you get clear, there's so much joy in that. And Heather, you're clear like, I'm going to enjoy my family. I'm not going to go bitch about the fact that the beds are not made or maybe the floor needs to be swept. And I'm going to tell you what, whenever you are here's what I'm going to tell you. I used to travel for this power job. I traveled quite a bit for it. And I'd go away for 2 weeks at a time. And that last couple of days, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to go home to a freaking mess. They've been home all week. And I would start fretting over it, walking into whatever I'm walking into, all the things. I'm going to tell you what, I never once came home from a business trip where my husband and my kiddo did not have it on lockdown. I'm going to give my husband most of that credit because he probably did it all, but sheets were changed. The house would be clean. He would always have dinner planned for the night I was flying home. Nobody starved the entire time. Everybody's clothes were clean while I was gone for 2 weeks to travel for work. It was always taken care of. But I'm going to tell you, when you worry, you're worrying, you're manifesting shit you don't want to happen, right? When you worry, you are manifesting what you do not want to happen. So go in there with an open mind that everything is exactly as it should be and everything is going to be fine, okay? So Tanya says, most people think that they know what they want. The issue is they don't know their true feelings. Why am I so passionate about the mirror and work and going back within? Clarity comes in how you feel. Yes. And it says it's so common for people to have a goal and change it and tell them to go within. Exactly, because you have to get clear. You have to get clear and you have to define what it is. You have to really stop and look inward, right? You cannot do that from like seeing something over there that you want. That is lustful, and that is a fleeting thing. What is important is what is within. You have to go deep within and kind of like look at that heart and mind and get to where you need to be. And then your crystal affirmation for clear quartz this week is going to be, I am crystal clear. So today, sit and meditate for 3 minutes to clear your headspace, right? Just go in with, and sometimes I'm going to give Heather this advice, okay? As you travel home, Heather, clear your head with zero expectation, right? Because, zero expectation. And I'm going to encourage everyone, if you've not done it yet, please listen to or read the 4 Agreements. It will change your life. Heather, specifically, you need to read that book. I'm telling you. Oh my gosh. Tanya, you probably do good for you too. Read the book. Anybody watch this, read the book. It'll do good for anybody. Like, I have a friend of mine who was just like, holy moly. I'm like, I told you, girl. She's like, it's life-changing. I'm like, I told you. Even her middle school age daughter was in the car when it was talking about being impeccable with your word and spewing like white magic or black magic with your words. And she said, I was so relieved that she was there hearing that, even if she rolled her eyes because she didn't want to listen. She said it was the seed was planted, and she wanted her to hear that as well. And I love that so much. The next card is rose quartz. So that is going to be, first we're going to clear our head, right? Then we are going to open up our hearts, right? We're going to open up our hearts with that big pink crystal stone. I got some rose quartz all over. I got a big giant rose quartz in my living room because it's one of my like Power of Dallas. I'm trying to do 2 books a month, and I was looking for something new for February, so that's going to go on my list. Thanks for the suggestion. Okay, rose quartz. Open up your heart. So I love a rose quartz. I love that pink, right? Remember your first love. It should be you. Embrace radical, unconditional self-love. And I tell you, these cards jump out at me. Holy shit, y'all. Remember your first love? It should be you. Embrace radical, unconditional self-love. This will help guide you to a place of understanding, patience, and joy, which you can then share with others. Exactly what I just said, right? By embracing unconditional love for yourself, you open up your heart to receiving the kind of love you need and deserve from others. Got a lump in my throat, y'all. So go ahead, fall head over heels in love with yourself. Only then will you be able to express that level of true love with that special someone. When I say the cards sometimes want to make sure that I know that I'm doing the right thing, because sometimes I don't, right? Sometimes I doubt myself. This deck always comes around and lets me know that my message is the message. And this card, this rose quartz card, this is what came, and I know we've been on for almost an hour, but I'm sorry, y'all. Whew. Okay. My, I'm not, I don't even know if I want to say it. So, I remember growing up, my mom said to me that she never knew what love was until she had children. She never knew what love was until she had children, because then she felt like that was unconditional love, because she made us. And as an adult woman who has lost her mother, the most sad I am, the saddest thing that I think has ever to me, the saddest thing in my life, and the reason I probably deal with shadow work with grief with my mom, and why I still kind of work with that, I probably need to do a session with somebody, is because my mother, in my opinion, and in my heart, I know this, my mother never truly loved herself. Never. She never truly got that unconditional self-love. And I adored my mom. And I wanted to be just like my mom in so many ways, right? But in so many ways, I don't. And that is such a struggle when you're dealing with, as an adult child who's lost their parent, the grief work of that. And the other day when I did the 222 poll, the card that said that what do I need to get through this next season, like what I need to deal with this next season, and it was this butterfly like situational cards, and grief came up. Grief work came up. And so many of the things that I do, that I've done, I know is a direct reflection of the things that I was taught by my mother, right? She loved everyone else big. She had so much love. And when she loved you, you felt so loved that it makes me so sad. Like I could sit here, and I did not know I was going to do this. I could sit here and sob like she died this morning over the grief that she never knew the joy of her own love, right? Because I knew that love. And I know how much that love filled me up, and how much her love going forward allows me. And like, I think that the reason that I'm here to like break your curse, I was never able to have children. I was never able to like give birth to a child who I could look at and see myself and all the things, right? It was not in my cards. But I think it's because I'm supposed to break this generational curse of not loving myself and making other people to love me. Because my whole family has kids, and that's kind of the pattern. And so for me, this is my mama's card today. I did not, that's my card, y'all, too. So again, like I tell y'all, even if one person listens and I say, when I do this, I'm not pointing, this thumb's coming back at me. If I'm doing this, you think I'm preaching, it's coming back at me. So if you're someone who's listening to this, whether now or on the replay, and you have not truly allowed yourself to love yourself, please stop and do the first card, look inward, get clear, right? And then the second card, give yourself that unconditional self-love. The core questions for this card for this week to help you do that. Oh, I'm trying not to do this. What would it look like to show yourself unconditional love? What would it look like, right? What do you love about yourself? And I'm going to tell you, here's a little thing that's very difficult, but I'm going to tell you every day, if you journal, to please write down something that you love about yourself. I started this process. This is one of the first things that I was given about self-love, was to get out of the shower every day and look at myself dead in the eye in the mirror and say to myself, I love you. And if you can't, and I was like, that's easy. I can say the words, right? And I get out of the mirror and I look at myself buck naked, scars, stretch marks, cellulite, belly fat, fupa, bingo flaps, and I could not say the words, right? And then I looked at myself one day and I was like, well, my eyes are really green and they're really pretty. And I was like, I love my eyes. And then the next day, I forgot to take my earrings out, my little diamond studs, and I look at my earlobes. They're so sparkly. And each day I was like, I'm going to start with the top and go to the bottom. And then I was like, you know what? It's not about loving the meat suit. It's about loving what's inside. And now every day I can get out of that shower, I can look myself dead in the eyes and say, I love you. If nobody else tells you that today, I love you, Tammy. You're amazing and you got this, girl. Get up and make it happen. And every day I listen to that and I believe that. And I know that I love myself. And when I'm negotiating difficult relationships, because some relationships have been, like my sister and I get in an argument. She's like, well, you never did that before. What, you don't love me anymore? I'm like, no, I don't love you any less. I love you the same as I loved you yesterday. But what you're seeing the change is that I love me more than I ever have. And when I love me, I'm going to also take me into consideration in making these choices. So when I say no or I set boundaries, it's not because I love you any less. I love you the same as I've always loved you. But guess what? I do love me more, and I matter too. And I'm going to take my feelings and my thoughts into consideration, and I'm going to stop overextending myself, and I'm going to start doing these things. So love yourself and make sure that you take an effort every day to start loving yourself as much as you can. And the affirmation this week for that, affirm, I am love. Today, stand in front of the mirror, look yourself in the eyes, and say, I love you 3 times. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I did not, I had not read ahead. I started doing that, like, my, like, teacher told me to do that. Like, Carly's like, I want you to start with this for self-love. And I had no idea that it's right here. So here's what I'm going to tell y'all today. It wasn't planned. It wasn't polished, right? It wasn't planned. It wasn't polished. Probably lost some people at some point, right? But if you're meant to hear this message and you're here today, please listen to it. Please take away from it what was meant for you. Please love yourself. If you take nothing away, every person needs to know that, to love yourself. I have my little notes here about my whole plan of deserving, deciding that you deserve, define what it is, design the life that you want, and then deliver on your results. Good morning, Amanda. Go back and watch this, Amanda. I think you need to hear it today. On that note, I am off for the rest of the day. I do my Sunday sermon, then I call it a day. I actually took a whole day off yesterday. I'm very proud of that. Not that I love y'all any less. I just love me a little bit more today. So on that note, as always, if you have anything that you need for this big weeks coming up, Valentine's Day or Super Bowl Sunday, I've got you covered on all aspects. Make sure to reach out. Let me know what I can do to help you out. There are Valentine's Day bundles bopping up in the Party with Tammy, and those are going to be things for your like sexy single self, or if you're maybe booed up, I got something for you and your boo, some lingerie, some fun little edible things, a little buzzy buzz, whatever it is that you may need, let me know. And then if you're also in the Hometown Hippie Park Elevated Edibles, don't forget Valentine's Day pre-orders closed, but I may have some extra stuff, so it doesn't hurt to go ahead and get your order placed in. There is a way to shop in the link. Please look at the pinned post. That is the way to get your order in. I check those Monday through Friday. Friday afternoon, I check that the next Monday morning. So I'll be back to that spreadsheet on Monday. And on that note, each of y'all have a very blessed day. Peace, love, and feast. And as always, stay elevated and party with Tammy. I'll talk to y'all later and have a great week. Thanks y'all so much.